Every spring, gardeners pull the same plants, same spots, same roots, same battle. And every spring, those plants come back. Most people pull harder, dig deeper, spray more, yet the plants return anyway. Which raises a simple question. If these plants are truly useless, why does nature keep bringing them back? The word weed is a human invention. Nature doesn't grow things without reason. It doesn't waste energy on mistakes. Every plant that keeps returning is responding to something, a condition, a signal, something in the soil that needs attention. Most people see the weed as the problem. But what if it's actually the response to a problem? That one shift in thinking changes everything about how a garden makes sense. Here's what most people never learn. Many of the most common weeds are indicators. They appear in specific places because of specific conditions: compacted soil, depleted fertility, and bare, disturbed ground. The weed isn't creating the problem. It's marking one that already exists. Pull it without addressing the underlying condition, and it comes back. Every time. Because the condition is still there. The plant is a symptom. And nature, unlike most gardeners, is remarkably patient about repeating itself until something finally changes. The deep soil miner. There's something almost personal about a dandelion. Most gardeners have a specific spot, a corner of the lawn, a crack near the path, where one appears every single spring. Pulled in April, back by May, pulled again, back again. Year after year, like a quiet argument, neither side is winning. What almost nobody knows is what that long taproot is doing underground while that argument continues. Dandelion roots push down through compacted soil layers that most garden plants can't reach. As they grow, they pull minerals upward: calcium, iron, and potassium, depositing them in leaves that fall and decompose back into the topsoil above. It's doing quietly, for free, what most gardeners spend money trying to achieve with supplements and soil conditioners. And every spring it comes back to the same spot, not out of stubbornness, but because the soil there still needs what it came to do: the soil feeder. There's a generation of people who remember clover lawns, soft underfoot on bare summer feet, full of bees on warm afternoons, a slightly wild living quality that felt less like a garden and more like somewhere genuinely alive. Then the definition of a perfect lawn changed: uniform, green, weed-free, and clover became something to eliminate. What went with it was something most people didn't notice until it was already gone. Clover fixes nitrogen directly from the air, converting it into a form the surrounding soil can use. It feeds the ground it grows in. Replace it entirely with grass that only takes, and the soil slowly empties, quietly, season by season. Those bees that worked the old clover lawns on summer afternoons weren't there by accident. They knew something the perfect lawn forgot: the weed nobody notices. Most people have stepped over plantain thousands of times without ever learning its name. It grows flat against the ground, in paths, along driveways, and at the edges of lawns. Anywhere the soil gets regularly compacted by foot traffic or heavy use. Plantain doesn't grow in those spots randomly. It grows there because almost nothing else can. Compacted, airless, dense soil, the kind that forms wherever ground gets walked on repeatedly, is exactly the condition plantain responds to. It's been growing underfoot, literally, for years. A precise marker of exactly where the soil needs help. Stepped over daily by the people, it was trying to say something: the survival food. This one tends to produce a specific reaction when people find out. A long pause. Then, wait. Really, Purslane is one of the most pulled plants in most gardens. Low, spreading, and thick-leaved. It appears in vegetable beds and bare patches during the hottest part of summer and gets removed almost automatically. It's also edible, genuinely nutritious, with a fresh, slightly tangy flavor that works well raw or cooked. Generations of people in different parts of the world grew it on purpose, harvested it carefully, valued it enough to cultivate it. The idea that it's a weed, something to be cleared from a vegetable garden, is recent and strangely specific to the cultures that now pull it most aggressively. There's something that sits uncomfortably, the forgotten vegetable. Lamb's quarters is easy to miss. Tall, pale-leaved, and slightly dusty looking, it often gets removed before people even identify it. It doesn't announce itself. It just grows quietly until it's removed. What's been lost is the knowledge of what it once was. Previous generations harvested it. Young leaves eaten fresh or cooked. Seeds collected in autumn. A reliable food plant that asked for nothing, appeared without being planted, and fed people who knew what to look for. That knowledge didn't disappear because lamb's quarters stopped being useful. It disappeared because people stopped needing to know, and then, a generation later, stopped knowing altogether. The pollinator ally. Yarrow looks like it might be decorative at best. Fine, feathery leaves, flat-topped flower clusters in white or pale yellow. The kind of plant that seems pleasant without seeming particularly important. Stand near a flowering yarrow on a warm afternoon and just watch it for a few minutes. Hoverflies moving between the flowers, small beetles, parasitic wasps that spend their time hunting the pests most gardeners struggle with. A constant, quiet traffic of insects that would be easy to miss if you weren't standing still. All of that activity happens without intervention, without planning. Just a plant doing what it does, and an entire layer of garden life organizing itself quietly around it. It's one of those moments that's hard to unsee once you've noticed it. The living ground cover. Bare soil doesn't stay bare. Leave a cleared patch of ground, and within days, something starts covering it. Usually chickweed is soft and low and spreads quickly across exposed surfaces during cooler weather. Most gardeners pull it as fast as it appears, leaving the soil bare again, watching it return again. What it's doing underneath that cycle is protecting the soil, holding moisture, preventing erosion, keeping the surface from crusting, and losing the structure roots need. Nature almost never leaves ground uncovered voluntarily. Bare soil is a wound, and chickweed is frequently the first thing sent to close it. Pulling it and leaving the ground bare again doesn't solve anything. The chickweed comes back because the bare soil is still there. The same message, sent again, as patiently as necessary. A healthy ecosystem rarely leaves soil uncovered, unfed, or unrepaired for long. Every plant in this video appears in response to something specific. Remove the plant without addressing the condition it's responding to, and the condition remains. The plant returns. The message repeats. It's a system doing exactly what it was built to do, covering what's bare, signaling what's wrong, and repairing what's depleted.